Great Scott, we've got some cool things to talk about today. The Back to the Future Casio, a Seiko revival to rival the Casio, Nike's new insane 3D printed sneakers, as well as a quick fire review of the MTG B4000, plus some of my recent pickups, your wrist shots, and loads more. Let's jump in. First up, Casio take it back, or bring it forward, and drop their all-new Back to the Future collab. To celebrate the 40th anniversary of the iconic film, the equally as iconic Casio calculator watch has returned in a DeLorean-inspired limited edition tribute, known officially as the CA500 WEBF-1A. Now, Casio are kind of the king of collabs, so as you'd expect, this watch comes with a load of notable nods throughout, and even cooler packaging. So we've got a polished silver case with retro-futuristic detailing to capture the spirit of Doc Brown's legendary ride. As you can see, the dial takes inspiration from the film's time circuit readouts, with out of time and since 1985 cleverly written just above its LCD display. And flip it around and you've got an engraved flux capacitor on its case back. Such awesome stuff. Of course, this comes packed with all of the functionality you'd expect: stopwatch, dual time, calendar, etc. And of course, that faithful calculator feature. A proper collector's item this, made even better by what it arrives in. Yep, that is a VHS cassette tape box right there, people. This right here is a full end-to-end proper collab with no corners cut. Two absolute icons from the 80s teaming up in the most perfect way. I've actually known about this for a little while from conversations with the Casio family, so it's really cool to finally see it live. This is priced at £114.90 in the UK and offers a whole load of bang and nostalgia for its buck. This limited edition actually dropped today, which is the 21st of October at the time of recording this, which is Back to the Future Day, so very nicely done once again, but it might already be sold out. So yeah, if you want one, maybe go check that out, or maybe hop on a DeLorean and travel back in time, get one, and then yeah, never mind. But yeah, such a cool collab. Hats off to the whole Casio team here. They've absolutely nailed it with this one. Now, before we get into our next drop, quick wrist check, as we love to do here. I am wearing the John Mayer and Hodinkee DW6900 G-Shock in baby blue. This was actually the third of their trilogy, of which I am now the proud owner of all three. And yeah, such a beautiful watch. I love a pop of color, as you can probably tell. This one matches the hoodie nicely as well. And this is probably still my favorite of the trio. I just absolutely love it every time I wear this watch. Next up, keeping it digital, we've got the all-new Seiko Rotocall, which is a very cool revival of the brand's iconic 80s astronaut A829 model. And while this watch was never actually officially issued by NASA, I've read that it was well renowned for accompanying many a spaceman or woman on their mission to outer space. This octagonal watch comes packed full of features which are easily navigated by the watch's most notable feature, its very cool and bi-colored rotating bezel. So whether you're after a stopwatch, countdown timer, want to set an alarm, a quick flick of the bezel, aligning it up with a little pointer at the top, and you're in. And with its big and bold positive displays, it looks just as legible as it is functional. These watches are 37mm in diameter and are relaunched in 3 bezel colorways: a red, a yellow, and a reversed blue, which is probably my pick of the bunch. These watches are constructed from stainless steel, they've got hardlex glass, 100 meters of water resistance, all very good stuff. Now, I mentioned how this was a rival to the Casio earlier. Now, obviously that was in jest. I'm coming from a bit of a G-Shock angle. This is very much its own thing, and a watch that I know so many of you are excited to see returning. These are priced at £480 or around $645 if you want one. It is quite an interesting comparison at this price point though. Like, if you had £500, would you go for one of these or a full metal GMB 2100, for example? And of course, let me know what you think of these Rotocalls specifically. Would you go for one of these? What color would you go for? Let me know. Now, as many of you will know, it was Wind Up Watch Fair in NYC this past weekend, an event flooded with a huge number of watch brands and even more enthusiasts. And it's fair to say that the Brits came in hot. Of course, we had the Studio Underdog and Fears Manhattan collab that launched exclusively at the event, Bremont's new stainless steel jumping hour, which is so clean. But the one I wanted to talk about in this episode was the Mayfair 2.0 from Bamford Watch Department. Now, I'm well aware that this is the second time in 2 weeks that I've spoken about Bamford, but can you blame me? They've dropped back-to-back bangers. So yeah, the Mayfair 2.0, a wicked new interchangeable timepiece that allows you to switch things up as you please. We've got 4 new colorways in this one. We've got a green, a pink, and a blue with this really nice smoky gradient, but my pick of the bunch has to be that fresh white. The Mayfair's been a popular model for the Bamford brand, but these take things to a whole new level for me. So each watch has a titanium core and comes with 4 interchangeable polymer case options, as well as 2 rubber straps. The motto for this release is pick it, click it, and own it, and from seeing a few videos, it really does seem that simple. Depending on how you feel, you can swap these cases in and out with very little effort. We've got a 40mm case, a solid Swiss quartz movement inside, as well as 100 meters of water resistance. It's very difficult to pick a favorite matchup with these, but I'm definitely leaning towards a white dial monochrome vibe, whether that be with a white case or a black one. Although that blue is also very nice. The beauty of this release, I guess, multiple watches in one. Now, Bamford's known as operating in the luxury side of watchmaking, and you'd think the price might reflect that. However, as you can see, these are priced at just £495. This is a very nice balance between premium watchmaking and a fun, affordable price. Very cool. Let me know what you think of these ones. Right, onto some sneaks. Check these out. Is this the way we're making sneakers now? Well, Nike have teamed up once again with 3D printing expert Zelafeld to drop their third Air Max 1000. Having previously dropped a black and a cream, the pair have now come together once again to drop a super limited lilac pair. Now, I mentioned in our previous episode how purple was my favorite color in the whole wide world, but actually, fun fact, it's lilac more specifically. And not only that, these are actually based on my favorite shoe silhouette of all time, the Air Max 1, as you might have noticed from that wavy line on the midsole. Anyway, back to the shoe. These are all one piece and constructed from TPU material, which I believe is thermoplastic polyurethane, I believe I read, and are supposedly pretty durable, have a bit of give, and are super comfortable too. So yeah, let me know what you think of these. Would you rock them? Have you already got some? So these ones specifically are $179. They were available via a raffle on the Zelafeld website from the 17th to the 21st, I believe. As you can imagine, I'm in. They're apparently super limited, like 200 pairs or something. So yeah, good luck, but I've entered the raffle. I guess we'll see. Now, keeping it Air Max, next up we have a pair that was going to be on my radar, but is now in my possession. And what a pair it is, by the way. Now, these right here are the Air Max Sunders in collaboration with Offspring and the Offspring community. There's a good chance you've already heard of them, but Offspring are a huge sneaker retailer here in the UK, known as one of the go-to places when it comes to exclusive footwear. And this collab they've done with Nike is very cool. I haven't actually had a proper look at these yet. I wanted to do a live unboxing with you guys, as we love to do here. So yeah, let's get into it. So the slogan for this release was by the community, for the community, back to the community. So what they wanted to do with this design was ensure that the community were very much at the heart of it. So they've ran quite a few workshops over the last year or so, and they ended up designing this. So, oof, they are fire. Let's get both of them out, shall we? There's probably a load of you that are like, new shoes on the table, what are you doing, man? Sorry if you're superstitious, I have to do this for content purposes, you know. So yeah, Offspring chose a few select members from their community to help bring this creation to life, including the boy Jeffrey, who you might recognize from our G-Shock Unknown Source panel talk we did together. So yeah, big up to him, massive congrats, man. And yeah, this is just wicked, man. Like, I really, really, really dig this silhouette. Not one I'd usually go for, to be fair, and I actually don't wear a lot of red, but I just had to pick this up. We've got a really nice denim upper here, which also has a trick up its sleeve, inspired by the rainy London weather. When this gets wet, it actually reveals a really cool camo pattern. I'm not going to do that right now in the studio, but yeah, I'll put an image up on screen of how that thing happens. Then we've got a real cool concrete grey-esque sole to represent the streets of London. We also have this really cool Nike engraved ring that also has for the community written on it. I'll attach that soon. So yeah, nice little emblem to walk around with. And what made this whole collab even better and rounded this whole thing off perfectly was its price. Living by the back to community vibe, these were released for just 60 English pounds, which is crazy. Those of you that know Air Maxes will know that they retail for double that. So yeah, to have a retail price of 60 pounds meant they were super accessible, and whoever wanted them, as long as they were quick, would get them. I think there might still be a few sizes available, but yeah, such a sick shoe. I'll include some B-roll of this over the top, but yeah, big shout out to everyone involved. Now, next up, and keeping it sneaky, is another pickup I'm super hyped about. So, like many of us, I've been watching YouTube for a long time now, and this probably started back in sort of 2015, 16. I was big into sneaker content at the time, obviously still am, but we all have that one channel or creator that we were super hooked on that we just constantly went back to. And for me, that was Crew TV and Qias Omar. And recently, he finally got the opportunity to collab on his very own Adidas sneaker, and I just had to support. This was actually a triple collaboration between him and Private Sneakers, all inspired by Los Angeles. So I haven't actually unboxed these properly yet, so I'm doing that live again. Double live unboxing of sneakers, my guys. I hope you're enjoying it. Los Angeles graffiti print, rate that. These are fire again. Very different from the others. So yeah, these are inspired by the city of LA. You've got the angel wings on the back there, the city of angels. There's quite a few extras with these as well, so that's pretty sick. Yeah, even the tissue paper, man, like, sick. The hang tag of the Los Angeles road sign there as well. I actually haven't ever been to LA, but yeah, would love to. Also some additional laces here, some starry laces, some palm tree emblems. How sick are they? Man, they're so cool. So we've got the fat laces on there already. There's also some like vintage cream laces here. These are the two I'd probably switch between, but I do quite like a fat lace, you know? So this is inspired by vintage streetwear, as you can see from this sort of suede black upper, looking really, really clean. And then hopefully you can see there's like a cracked leather on the three stripes, off-white sort of sole and shell toe. Yeah, super, super clean. LA inspired insoles in there as well. And also one of the most notable things about this pair was its upside down logo on the tongue. So this logo in particular actually was taken from one of the archives of Adidas. Qias and the whole team involved had to go through leaps of approval to get that on there, but yeah, looks sick and obviously differentiates this from your everyday shoe. But That's the beauty of this collab as well. It does look like an everyday shoe. And I know Qias mentioned if he was involved in one, he wanted to make sure it was super wearable and not just make something that people would just sort of hang on a shelf and just leave there and just admire from afar but never actually rock. What was also very cool about this was that they absolutely weren't available in the UK. They were a US exclusive. So when I saw that these dropped online, I knew that they would go very quickly. So I very quickly created a US sort of proxy forwarding service, shipping service with Stackery. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but yeah, I think they were meant to be pretty reputable. I did it all. I bought the sneakers. So these were like $100 at retail and then $10 for ground shipping. And then obviously Stackery would let me know when they arrived and then forward them on. In between doing all that very quickly, I then Googled about them and people were saying that they stifle you for some shipping costs. And then I was like, oh God, what is it going to cost me? But when they arrived, I thought it was going to be like 50, 60, 70 pound or something. But it was $35 to send them on to me, which I thought was super reasonable. All in cost me around £109.47, which yeah, is very, very reasonable for such a limited and cool, unique shoe, in my opinion. So yeah, definitely gonna be rocking these very soon. As I say, I'm gonna probably whack a palm tree on there. Big shout out to Qias, obviously a big inspiration of mine. Got me into YouTube in the first place and now doing it myself. So yeah, big up to him. And let me know what you think of these. I don't actually buy loads of stuff all the time, by the way. It just so happens that these kind of all arrived at the same time. Honest. One thing that did also arrive this week was a sample of the MTG B4000. So I asked the Casio team if they'd kindly send me this for me to give it a ride. Obviously I've had the MTG B1000, 2000 and 3000. I own all three. So I wanted to see what this one was saying. And yeah, it's been interesting. So if you're familiar with G-Shocks or this channel or this watch specifically, you'll know that it was co-designed with AI. What does that mean? Well, human designers came up with a whole concept. Then AI ran impact simulations using decades of shock resistance data. Then refined the design to balance durability, material constraint, and manufacturing. The Casio engineers then brought this whole thing to life. It's pretty cool, right? I mentioned before how I like the fact that AI was leveraged here, not to completely take over the design, but to assist where needed. Anyway, let's break it down some more. So as you can expect from an MTG line, this one's got a whole lot of premium craftsmanship. Its interior case is constructed from carbon fiber reinforced resin with a multi-dimensional stainless steel case back made from metal injection molding. On this model in particular, we've got a blue ion plating throughout, which has a nice Salas polished finish. This one's 45.3 millimeters in width, 56.6 millimeters lug to lug, and is 14.4 millimeters thick, weighing approximately 102 grams. In terms of features, as you'd expect with an MTG again, this one comes absolutely stacked with the likes of multiband 6, Bluetooth, tough solar, world time, auto calendar, super illuminator backlight. It's got triple G resist, so it's shock, centrifugal, and vibration resistant, and also has 200 meters of water resistance. So yes, a very, very solidly spec'd watch indeed. This one also retailed for £1,219 and $1,250, I believe. So yeah, having the 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000, what do I think of this 4,000? I like it. Something's not quite clicking for me, and I don't know if that's just because I don't quite like it as much as the others. It's still a very solid watch. It's a good looking watch. I mentioned when I first saw it that the crown might look like it's protruding somewhat, and yeah, it is. So I thought I'd bring my others to the table. The crown itself is actually a similar size to what it is on others, maybe a little bit bigger. It could probably be shaved down a little bit. I think it's just because there's no specific guard around the crown, which would have looked actually quite good. I don't know if it's to make it more slender, but I don't think they really needed to. Like G-Shocks are meant to be bulky, and that would have just worked here. So yeah. Comfortable though, it doesn't actually compromise its comfort in any way. The rubber band is also very nice. Colorway is really nice. It'll be interesting to see where they go with this. One thing I will say is very noticeable and very cool is the carbon on the casing looks very, very cool in contrast to its blue IP around here. Very prominent. I guess it looks like a minimal MTG, like an MTG. Would I recommend you go for one? I would say if you're on the hunt for an MTG, I'd probably go for the 1, 2 or 3K first, to be honest. You could probably get a great deal on one of those as well, and you will not be disappointed. Not that you would with this, but I think this is obviously brand new. There's some great deals to be had, some super cool limited editions, as hopefully you think I've shown you there. But yeah, still a very cool watch, as I've probably said about a million times. But yeah, I look forward to wearing it some more. Where are you at with this? Would you buy one? Right, we're here, baby. Wrist shot time. Did you see that move, by the way? Whoosh. Right, first up, we've got this very cool watch that Luke sent in. This is a collab between British watchmaker Bowcroft and Penfold. And yeah, really, really like this. Love the pop of color. That gradient as well is really, really cool. It might just be the photo, but it reminds me of those blue and pink fizzy cola bottles you can get, which is not a bad thing. That's very cool. Thanks very much for sharing, mate. Very, very nice watch indeed. Next up, we've got one from Kian, who shares this very, very cool stealthy Casio. Was wearing this one at work today. Love that. Great choice for a daily. This also looks like a GAB, so you've got that Bluetooth and tough solar to keep you going. Love that. But Qias has flexed on us all and shared this awesome shot of his MTGB 2000 that he switches up to at night. Love that carbon fiber bezel with the pops of green on the dial. See what I mean, guys? There's some great MTGs to be had out there. Proper flex, mate. Love that. Love that. Next up, we have a proper fresh GA110 from Ben. A very new release from the Fantastic Four or Hidden Glow series volume 2. And yeah, what a watch, man. What an absolute beast that is. Looks so fresh. Love those accents of blue, positive display. The GA110s are so underrated. Very cool watch, mate. Thank you very much. Next up, ooh, a lovely Orient from Rixon, a brand I've only heard good things about but not had enough experience with. But yeah, that looks very clean. Love the markers on this. Very strong daily there, and with a cloth strap, super comfortable too, I imagine. Thank you very much for sharing, mate. What a wrist you have there. Fair play. Now, last but by no means least, Topher actually tagged us in this photo on Instagram, and in his caption he said that he had the Royal Navy Frogman on his wish list. It's on my wish list. It's on many of our wish lists, I imagine. He mentioned it to his wife, and rather than get the response of, oh yeah, that's great, mate. Yeah, nice. Yeah, lovely. Whoa, yeah, lovely. She actually pulled it right out the bag and surprised him with it. So I swiftly commented and told him that he needs to marry her again. But yeah, what a watch, man. Absolutely love this collab. The battleship grey in contrast with that navy, black, and pops of red. Perfection. Well done, mate. Not just on acquiring this watch, but also choosing the right woman to marry. And as always, if you want to feature on our next episode, make sure you tag us at @timedrops_ over on IG, and I will make that happen. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a like and comment down below and all that good stuff. Oh, and make sure you subscribe because you're not going to want to miss out on next week. We have got an MRG Casio in the kitchen, boys. We are cooking. I'll see you then. Take care.